and welcome back to Genuine Nonsense. I'm Kelly MacFarland, and we have a great show for you this week. How was your weekend? How was your week? How's everything going? I want to start off by saying that things are fine here. We have a great show for you tonight. Josh Gondelman is here. I've got a couple fun things for us to watch, and producer Matt will be showing up on the show, which is going to be great. I wanted to start off tonight with just a commentary or a quick commentary. I'm a stand-up comedian, as most of you know, and I was hearing a lot of chatter about Bill Burr's set on Saturday Night Live. And honestly, I have watched it several times now. And if you don't know Bill Burr's comedy, it was very Bill Burr. He has no limits when it comes to who he's going to talk about. And that comedy is, even if it's not your cup of tea, comedy is there to make you think, to make you consider. So if you were offended, then I would encourage you to go back and figure out why you were offended, right? And figure out why it made you think or why it made you feel something. Comedy should be making us feel something, right? Like, if you are watching performance of any kind and it's not giving you the feels in some way, then dial in, because you should be feeling something, right? And I think in the world of comedy, comedians want you to consider what they're saying and then make a choice on how you feel about it. So yeah, he talked about white women, he talked about Gay Pride Month, he talked about Black History Month. He talked about a lot of things that I think were really timely, and also just kind of very Bill Burr style, where he's trying to make you think. So if it made you mad, then mission accomplished, Bill Burr. I am going to definitely try to save my voice tonight. That's not true. I would never try to save my voice. I actually got to perform like 6 times last week, which is crazy. And I've got a little bit of like scratchy, gravelly voice going on, which is what my normal voice is like. During the pandemic, my voice, because I haven't been performing as much, has been really kind of like fine and not gravelly. So this feels more like myself than I have in months. So that's good to know and good to hear. And it's nice to hear in my own headphones. I'm not going to talk about The Fly. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about the fly that landed, because it was a fly. I think we can stop talking about it now. It happened. It's not a big deal. I have 50 bug bites on my ankles still, little scars from the summer. Bugs land on us. I know, Matt, but the fly. I mean, look, was it funny? Yeah, hilarious. Was it distracting? Sure. Did we need it? Yes. Do I think it was RBG? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it any more than that, though. Even though I think you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I want to get right to the show. I want to bring our guest out. He is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. Josh is a comedian that started in Boston, and I've known him for many years. He has gone on to do amazing things. I mean, he has an Emmy. You know what I mean? I think he might have multiple Emmys, like a bunch of Emmys. He's got albums out on iTunes. When I travel, because I'm a road dog, when I go to my gigs, I listen to him while I travel. Like, that's how funny he is. He's a brilliant writer. I love the way his mind works. He has written for, he's been on so many television shows, and he's written for so many shows. And currently, he's the writer and producer. And I never say this name right, so maybe Josh can hook me up with them so that I can learn how to say it right. But DeSeuss and Marrow on Showtime. And he has a great new podcast, too, that we're going to talk about. Let's bring him in. Josh Gondelman.
Hey, what's up, Kelly?
Hi.
Thank you. What a sweet intro. That was so nice.
Oh, I just adore you. It's a love fest on
Likewise,
Genuine
I know.
Nonsense.
We've
Yeah.
known each other a very long time, and which is, I
Yes,
know.
I love it.
Me too. It's the best. I think
I'm-
about it so much, how the people that I like, who I still look up to so much, with the people that I looked up to when I started, that being like friends and peers, and it makes me so happy. And I think about it like truly all the time. It's like the best thing in the world to me.
Josh, I always think of you because I got married, and on my wedding day, you were getting an Emmy, and you texted me and said, "Hey, I just wanted to wish you congratulations on your wedding." And I was like, I mean, the kindest, sweetest person.
Thank you.
Alive.
That's very kind.
I'm just saying.
It's also like, look, once you've won an Emmy, that's the end of the Emmy. You just have it. But being married, that's so exciting. I'm much more like, if my Emmys disappeared tomorrow and I was like, where did they go? That would be so much less distressing than if that happened to my human wife.
I know.
Then I would have to learn martial arts. I would have to, just my whole life would have to change.
You have to reinvent. I mean, you'd have to date. You'd be on Tinder. Like, what is
well,
that?
Not that fast. I think I'd try to find her first. I feel like I would go Liam Neeson before Tinder.
Do you really think that, like, okay, so your wife is lovely and wonderful, and also, do you want to do a quick plug for?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Maris, she's the best.
Maris. I mean, Maris is an author, and she's an amazing human.
She's brilliant. She has a podcast called The Maris Review, where she interviews authors every week, and it's the best. She's like the best reader, most thoughtful interviewer, the best. So if she just like disappeared without a trace, I feel like there would be a period of me being like, well, I guess I've got to like learn how to do this and find out where the wind is blowing. I've got to like learn some kind of marksmanship, like with a bow and arrow. Yeah.
Be like a Hunger Games situation. You'd have to go into training. This just shows where my mind is at. Like, if my husband suddenly was missing, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm on Tinder. No, I would
the abs.
I would get a tiny house. Like, if I knew he was okay and someone didn't take him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, well, you're lovely. How many Emmys do you have now, Josh? Is this embarrassing to talk about? Where are they?
They are, I have 4 in total, and there are 3 that are like on top of a dresser right over there, just off frame. And then there's 1 that's at my parents' house. I brought it to them.
I love it.
And they immediately could not decide where to put it in a way that was like very stressful for everyone. And I immediately regretted bringing it to them. I still do.
Now, they're still in Massachusetts?
They're still in Massachusetts. Yeah, they're still in the house where I grew up.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Yeah. And you're pretty tight with your family, right? I mean, you have a close-knit family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a small family. We talk a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you missed them during COVID, or because you're in New York?
Yeah.
Is it or is it just normal? Like, you're like so busy that you're like, well, this is kind of how we were functioning before.
I miss them, and it's normal. Like, it just feels, I think it's going to hit harder. Like, I have to figure out the holidays.
Sure.
Because it's like, I don't go back to see them that often, and they don't visit here that, like, I probably see them 3 or 4 times a year usually, which is like not nothing, but like this year it's been 0 so far.
Right.
But usually, they stay with my uncle and aunt in New Jersey, and then they'll drive into the city and eat dinner with us, and then drive back out. Which is, it's much more comfortable for them. Like, we have this office is like also our spare bedroom, so they could like stay on this futon, which is like,
Yep. My office is also our spare bedroom, and it's really, I mean, you got to put up with a lot of other distractions when you're in here, so it's like, welcome to what the inside of my brain looks like.
Yeah. Would you like to sleep inside my brain?
Would you like to know what I think about when I'm home by myself? That's so fun. Let's talk about the podcast.
Sure.
So your podcast, Make My Day, how many episodes in are you now?
We've hit 26 as of tomorrow, so 25 now.
Amazing.
Which is all from like all currently like in this like quarantine work from home era.
Yeah.
Which has been really wild. We launched it. We were going to launch it like the week before, and then it got pushed a week, and then the whole thing changed. It was supposed to be kind of a panel game show in the style of like, wait, don't tell me. And the theme was going to be like, here's the news. You have to like cheer me up. So like put a happy face on the news. And then because everyone was just home all the time and we couldn't get people in a studio together, it became like, okay, let's try to do it one-on-one. And it also felt like the news was so bad. It felt like grim to be like, hey, nobody knows what's up and people are just dying left and right. So like, what's the lighter side of that? I guess no traffic. So like, we just didn't want to do that. So the premise is still the same. It's like one guest trying to cheer me up every week. And I create a specific game for that guest. So they always win because they're the only contestant. And then at the end, they win a $100 donation to the charity of their choice.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really fun.
Thank you.
And folks can find that on iTunes or wherever they get their podcasts. Let's talk about the show for a second.
Sure.
So, and I never say his name. Will you please
Jesus, like Jesus.
Jesus, will you please apologize to Jesus for me? Because he
gets it all the time. And they get it so much worse too, because this is like, if you were like, oh shoot, you're like, I haven't said this in a while. There are people who are like, big fan, love the show, huge fan of Jesus and Mero. And it's like, nope. It's like the reddest flag that someone is like blowing smoke, which is so funny.
Yeah, I'm not going to ever blow smoke. Like if I can't pronounce your name, there are just some words that my mouth for some reason won't cooperate. Like I know in my head, I'm like, it's Jesus, like Jesus. But then when I go to say it, I'm like, like I can't.
No, it happens. It happens all the time. They're the best. I think they're used to it.
Are you having so much fun with them? Are you?
It's really fun. They're the funniest guys. It's Thursdays and Sundays at 11 on Showtime, and Jesus and Mero are they're a comedy duo from the Bronx. They're so funny. They improvise so much on the show. We like write real silly stuff for them. It's just been like a real blast. And it's been a real challenge and a testament to like how great our post-production team is between our like post supervisor and our editors and our assistant editors. It's just like, and our graphics department are really amazing feat to like make the show as good as it is from the hosts recording in two separate places at their own homes and then everyone else working on it in addition. Like people are now in California, and like Dave, one of our producers, was in Portland for the summer, and it's just like how seamlessly it has transitioned. It is like, it's such terrible circumstances, but I'm like so proud of our team, and the writers have been like so adaptable and figured out all these like fun, exciting things to do and for the guys to do, that like we shot this thing of like them being in the same place for the first time in 6 months or 4 months or whatever. And they tried to do the show like from a big park with their chairs like 20 feet apart from each other. It was just real silly and fun. And like, they're down for all sorts of different stuff. And they're just so smart and funny. It's been like, I don't know. I don't mean to say that in contrast with my last job, which is also really wonderful.
Yeah. So, you were on John Oliver's show.
Yeah. I worked there for a long time, and I just like literally got to go from one dream job to a different dream job. It's been the best. I've been very lucky.
Would you say that, because I mean, obviously working on John Oliver must have been like a great time, and I wasn't interpreting what you were saying that you didn't like that job.
I don't think so either. I always just feel like I have to go out of my way to be like, also, that was great.
I mean, that's in your nature. So we'll just give you a pass on that.
Yeah, that is very...
Yeah, you were with John Oliver for like 5 years, right?
I was there for 5 years. I started doing the like web stuff, like social and digital writing, and then moved over to write for the show in the second season. So I was there from the very beginning and for 5 seasons, and it was awesome. It was truly like, I couldn't have gotten a better education in writing for late night. John, the writing staff was incredible. John and Tim are like, who's an executive producer, are like two of the smartest, funniest people, and like so hardworking. It just like really was instructive and like, oh, this is like the kind of discipline required to like make a show like this. Like the how rigorous and buttoned down and like impeccable that production is like not an accident, and it's not just like, oh, you know, it happens, like we make other people clean it up. It's like they just like work so hard to make the show the way they want, which is really, again, instructive. I was like, oh, okay, that's like what it takes to like be great.
So you are now also a writer and a producer.
Yeah.
On
Jesus and Marrow.
Jesus and Marrow. Jesus and Marrow. I'm going to say it like 50 times, and then I'm going to call you, and I want to record it on your voicemail and have you say to him, "Hey,
I'll be like,
48-year-old road dog comic friend of mine.
Jesus,
learned
Kelly got your name wrong, and she's very sorry." And
Jesus,
like,
Jesus.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, you're a producer now, so I mean, honestly, you're so young, Josh, still, and I feel like I've known you forever because you started stand-up so early.
Yeah.
Right. And then now you're a producer and a writer on a Showtime show. What's the contrast now having to wear those hats, having to wear like a writing hat and a producer hat at the same time?
The producer, it's really exciting because when I was at Last Week Tonight, I worked so hard on the writing side, and all the writers do, and you don't really get to like touch the other parts of the show. It's very like the division of work there is like very stark, and it's like, okay, you write it, and then it goes to John and to Tim, the executive producer, and they like, you know, make their notes and make their edits, and then it goes to the production side, and like, unless there are questions, you just kind of like trust that it will make it onto television. And now, as a producer, in addition to a writer, I have like I have a voice in like I work on the edits of the show, and so we shoot long because Jesus and Marrow improvise so much, and then I sit with an editor and we like find the best stuff of all the improvising. And I'm like one of a few people that are involved in this job. And it's like very exciting to get to like make these editorial choices and like work on how the show looks with this editor. And like, it's all sorts of different kinds of things. And like, I also, like, when we would go out in the world, would like go out on shoots, which was really exciting, and to get to like see how things work out in the field. And so it's like, I feel like I'm rounding out my education in like how to make television. So that's really cool. It's just like a totally different kind of education.
I can't wait to see what you do next, honestly. Like, that's how I think when I think of you. And I hope that this doesn't embarrass you. When I sent out the email to some friends that I was doing this, you know, I'm doing this new show with my friends, Matt and Ben, for their new network.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people to email me back, and you were like, "Hi, I would love to.
Of course.
Love to chat with you." And it's just, you're such a good guy, and you're so funny, and so quick and so sharp.
That's very kind.
You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Thank you.
That means so much. Oh, please.
I'm such a fan of yours. I love your albums. I love that we haven't worked together in a long time, but like you very graciously did a spot on one of my Thanksgiving shows last time or the time before.
Anytime.
So incredible, and stuff I'd never heard before. And just like such a fan of your stand-up. And I admire like just how, like, when I was starting young, and you're a couple of years older than me, just like, but like had been doing comedy longer, and just were like an established headliner who I admired so much. The way you also were like, oh, I treat this like a job because it's my job. I felt like that taught me so much, being like, oh, it's not just that Kelly is like the funniest. It's also that she is like, she just like has a work ethic and discipline about it in a way that like, I was like, oh, I need to do that. Like, that's how you make it. That's how you take it from being like a funny person to like, my job is comedy. It's because you do it as a job.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I remember having so many conversations with you because you were a teacher.
Yes.
And I had a day job, and I would say to you, I know we would talk about this, and I would say to you, like, well, listen, I want it to be my only job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want this to be my only job. That's my retirement plan, is that I'm going to have this be my only job. So I take it very seriously. And I always kind of knew I shouldn't say I always knew. I didn't know where my path was going to go.
Mhm.
And I just said, well, if I keep my head down and I keep working, then
Yeah.
I'll get momentum, right? That's the
Mhm.
key, is the momentum. So think that's very sweet of you to say. And I get inspired by watching my funny friends just become these amazing powerhouses
Oh, thank you. That's
in the
so
comedy
kind.
world. Yes. All right. So Matt does this thing
Very
when
sweet.
it's time for me to let you go. He gives me a hashtag genuine
Oh,
love
that's
fest.
funny.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Rachel Endelman in the comments. Very
Yes.
sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
Rachel's so funny.
She's so funny. I know I haven't done a really good job at looking at the comments when I'm talking to my friends, and I
That's
should,
okay.
right? I thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
And will you come back
Anytime.
another time?
Of
Okay,
course.
good. I'm into it. I'm super into it.
Thank
And
you.
again, I want to just plug your show is on Sundays and Thursdays on Showtime.
Yeah.
Jesus and Marrow,
Hey,
and
nailed it.
I nailed it. Stuck the landing. And also check out Josh's podcast, his amazing podcast.
Oh, thank you.
That I'm just so happy you're doing it, is Make My Day, and you can get that wherever you get your podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, Josh, say hello to your lovely wife for me.
I will,
and
of course.
I hope to talk to you really soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Bye, Josh.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Matt, you can come on for a second.
I wasn't telling you had to be done.
I
wasn't saying
adore
that.
him. I know that I go into Love Fest mode, and I'm not sure if people like it or not.
No, it's wonderful to listen to. I love listening to it.
When we were naming the show, it's very genuine too. Like if I love you, I love you. Right. Absolutely. Matt, would you say that? Like,
I would say I would agree with that 100%.
Yes. We haven't had any guests on that I don't like, because that wouldn't be a very fun show to watch.
No, and that yeah. In fact, maybe we'll try to find some people that you don't like. Maybe that's a challenge for the production staff.
Hey, I wanted Matt, I don't even know if I told you this.
No.
I'm doing a bit. Matt, I don't know if I told you this, but we've got a new sponsor for Genuine Nonsense.
We do.
Yeah, we have a paid advertisement, and I'm really, really excited. And I just kind of want to roll it now. I feel like before we lose some viewership, because it's so late.
We should.
So here's a word from our sponsors.
My name is Patty Fitz, and our family farm has been home to 4 generations of children. We rely on funds from fracking for our children's future, but that's all about to change. O'Brien wants to ban fracking. That's downright un-American. Diane Bush wants to ban fracking bans because it's unconstitutional for landowners to give up property rights. O'Brien is pushing legislation that would permanently ban banning bans. That hurts farmers. That's bad for Pennsylvania. That's bad for America. Vote against O'Brien and billionaire Washington insiders, and demand the right to ban bans. Vote for Diane Bush in November.
I'm Diane Bush, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Bush for America.
Bush. That's actually a very clever video that was part of a web series that I did with Don Smith, starring in that amazing, yes, the pocket walk. The pocket walk is I'm so glad that someone pointed that out. When that's the amazing and very funny and talented Kathy Ferris, who is a brilliant stand-up comedian and amazing human. She's been on our show. She does that funny walk across the lawn with her hand in her pocket. It's so weird. Yes, this. And then all of a sudden she's like, my sensible speakers. Oh, I tripped. It was very funny. Yeah, that's from a web series that Kathy and I were both in, called Paid For By the brilliant Don Smith. It's that time. It's that time, everybody. It's that time in the show for the Nice to Meet Ya segment. So this is the part where our producers book a guest, and I'm getting ready. Can you tell I'm like getting all ready to meet them? And I have a widow's peak, and I've got these baby hairs that I've been growing look at my hair today, by the way. I really don't give a shit at all. As DJ Hazard used to say, I cannot express to you the shit I do not give. So without further ado, let's roll into the segment where the producers book me a surprise guest. I may know them, I may not know them. I'm going to interview them either way. Let's roll into Nice to Meet Ya. Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Jami. This is my guest, Jami. Hi, Jami. Say your last name for us.
My last name is pronounced Tennille.
Tennille.
Yes, like the captain.
Yes, Captain and Tennille. You knew I was going to say that. I'm of a certain age. I was going to be like, la. That's actually, yeah. So it's so nice to meet you. I'm Kelly MacFarland. Nice to meet you, Jami. Tennille.
Kelly, it's nice to meet you too.
Where are you coming from today?
I am currently in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For any particular reason, do you live in Rhode Island, or do you need a ride?
Oh, it looks like she's frozen a little bit.
She's frozen.
Oh my goodness.
It was funny when I said, do you need a ride? And then she froze.
So maybe she does need a ride.
Let's see if she'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll give her a minute. Matt, is this a booking of Matt Fears?
Yes, I booked. Jami works for a website called Actor Playbook.
Oh.
And I've done some improv teaching with her.
Yes.
So let's
Here's
see.
Jami.
No, she's still. I'm just testing the waters here.
So I will say I know Jami not well though. I know her through Actors Playbook, but I've never seen her in person or met her or anything. And Matt, since Jami is having some technical difficulties, let's talk about Actors Playbook for a second.
Yeah,
because Jami's like the head of Actors Playbook, which is a website, right?
Yeah, it's this wonderful resource for people that want to get involved in television and commercial acting. So she offers classes and all kinds of resources for people that are going to audition and things like that. So she reached out to actually both of us. We actually have a class coming up together.
We are. We're
beginning of next month.
I'm so excited to do that too. We're doing a little bit of, it's mostly how to pivot quickly and be comfortable and think on your feet and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that she
was having some technical difficulties. So hopefully she'll be coming back in. I'm keeping an eye on my emails as well.
Okay, good. Well, if not this week, then we'll have her back in another week. She's very kind. I had a very long. Oh, it's okay, Rachel. Rachel just put an emoji in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions for us on or here at Genuine Nonsense, this is the time to put them in the chat.
This would be a good time to basically play Ask Kelly MacFarland. Oh, wait, Jami's back. And
I'm so sorry.
Yay.
Do not apologize. It was funny because I was trying to have a poker face, oh, this is someone I don't know. And then I outed myself and was like, I know Jami, but I don't know Jami.
All right, I'll leave you back to it.
Okay, Maddie. No, you're perfect. Listen, who's keeping track? You know what I mean?
Oh, I've lost count of the disaster.
Yeah. Right?
Daily disaster.
So that's a really great topic for us to talk about right away. So Matt, that someone just posted in the chat that Matt's been up since 8 a.m. and that is true. Matt's been producing shows all day. So we were just talking about, you have the Actors Playbook, which is a great website and resource for anyone who's looking to do acting in television or film. Let's talk about what we just mentioned though. How do you feel as you've done with being able to pivot and move quickly and be able to adapt on the fly?
It's so, as far as when all of this happened, when everything imploded, in March.
Yes.
I know it was really, I think what you said is so on point, where you had to pivot or perish in a sense. And I felt like with Actor Playbook, it was just kind of getting rolling and people were coming into the
Mhm.
studio. We were having classes and being able to connect. And then it all went online. And it really has grown in a sense in the last 6 months, I think, because everyone is looking for ways to connect to the craft,
Yes.
ways to connect to other people in the industry, ways to connect to other actors. And it has really helped keep me sane watching that last Cell of Sanity, just to be able to connect. And luckily, you know, when technology cooperates,
Yes.
it you know, has played a really essential role in keeping that community together. So I don't know if I answered your question, but
You did. I mean, I think everything you just said is so valuable, no matter what business you're in, because one of the things that I've realized is that I'm just kind of like, I'm a little more gentle with myself now.
you have to be.
Because if we could all just be a little more gentle with everyone, I think we'd be in a better place. Do you know what I mean? It's we all need to be kind, and I hate that word. I feel like it's got like such a overused, you know, it's such an overused thing to say. Just be kind, practice kindness. But there's something to it, right? And so
I think it's an ongoing thing for everyone to try and balance, you know, the stress, the anxiety of everything that's going on, and just the daily life that we, you know, the chaos we find ourselves in, and also learning to be gentle with ourselves and other people and seeing where they're coming from. And I fail at it many times, but you know, we're all works in progress, and you just got to keep
going.
Right.
Have you been back to work? Because you're a full-time working actor. Have you been back to work at all?
It's the industry has, for a while there, it was dark. The auditions the past couple weeks have started to roll back through, which is exciting. And I was offered a part last Wednesday, so I'm super excited.
Oh, good. That's amazing.
Chemistry reads tomorrow and Wednesday with another member of the cast that they're looking to hire. So
that's terrific.
It is exciting to have projects on the horizon again, and it's coming back to life.
Yes, I agree. I was saying in the opening that I've had
6 shows.
I had 6. I performed 6 times, like a combination of in person and online. And I still was like, I'll take it. I'll take 6 performances of like working the muscle, you know?
So exciting.
Yeah, it feels really good. It feels really good.
Let me know, or I have to look in. Is it on your website where we can see where you're going to
you know, that's the thing. You got to be gentle with yourself, because I haven't been updating the website. I'm like, you could update your website with your online shows, Kelly. Like, can we just get it together? It's like, for some reason, I can't get all the parts to move at the same time.
It's a lot.
It's really, really a lot. So I have an awesome bowl of questions that I like to do for my surprise guest.
From the bowl, right?
Yeah. It's from the bowl of questions. Yes. Would you like to hit off the bowl of questions? All right. Let me pull one out for you. Let's see what we got. All right, Jami. Oh, this is a really interesting one. I know. I mean, there's something about me. Someone made the comment to me. I just started doing this bowl of questions last week, and someone made the comment to me. They're like, Kelly, there's something about you that when you were asking the questions, it was like you were playing like a middle school game of truth or dare. And I was like, oh, so I got to dial it. Let me dial it back. Okay. Jami.
Don't dial it back.
No, just kidding. Do you trust anyone with your life? And if yes, who?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I feel like, and my first thought was, I don't want to put that burden on anybody. Right?
Oh, you're sweet. Yeah. Put it on someone.
I like to think, I'm like, I can take care of myself. I
know, right?
Trust with my life. I mean, I would have to say my partner, which at this point in my life, I hate saying my boyfriend. I feel like it's ridiculous.
Believe me. No, I hear you. I have a husband now, and I still call him my partner. I'm like, you know, the man I live with. Yeah. So yeah, you want to say that, right? But I mean, do we really feel that? I mean, it's, you know, he sleeps pretty soundly. So I
Oh my
mean,
God, I laugh so often thinking of your stand-up about talking about your husband falling asleep. It's like, I'm
uh,
tired, my pillow, like just
he's always asleep. He's always it's
it's
become a real.
how like I've never
Yeah.
been in a relationship where I can fall asleep before, like it's always me just wanting to punch them in the face because I can
Mhm.
hear they drift off to sleep in like a minute. I'm like, and I lay there.
Constantly.
I feel
He's
you.
constantly asleep.
I get
I
it.
mean, I'm glad that you trust him with your life. I also understand what you're saying about I'm super independent and I would have a hard time answering that question. That's why I have the bowl and you don't. All right, let's do one more. I love this. Tell people where, while I'm picking one, because my OCD kicks in with this bowl and I start like having to tell people where they can find the Actor's Playbook.
Oh, sure. People can are actors, creatives, anyone with an interest in getting confidence, public speaking, all of that. Actorplaybook.com. Or you can send me an email to Jami@actorplaybook.com.
Matt's got your back right there. I think the important thing to say too is like we have, if you're watching this and you're like, but I'm not a performer and I'm not an actor, all bets are off. All bets are off, right?
Mm-hmm. I think everyone is a creative. And
yes.
There's something to try, even just to try something new. One of my members, Deb, she's so great. She started and took the leap in her 50s. She was like, I just wanted to try something new.
Yes.
And I've known her for over a decade now. And it's just, I think people, as long as you can just take the leap and not let fear stop you, it's
right.
It's a really fun group. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
I think it's really wise to like make yourself try something new because then you can surprise yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Like I think our lives, especially the older you get, our lives become so predictable. And so if you can surprise yourself, oh my gosh, what a gift, right? Like I'm I love comedy and I love having a sharp tongue. I'm also such an improv dork. And one of the reasons why I love improv so much is because it's less about the improv and more about the actual like fundamentals of why improv is so wonderful. And it's because just be inspired, damn it. Like that's it. That's all we want.
Just new and fresh.
Yes. All right. Here's your second question. This one's a little easier.
Right.
What's one grown-up like adult responsibility you wish you didn't have to have?
Oh, Jesus.
Where do I start? Narrow. How about that?
Where do I start? Oh my God. Bills, right?
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
Adult responsibility. Well, I have children.
Ooh. And yeah, those are that's a big responsibility.
Sometimes, it's hard to keep it all together with when the kids are around.
How old are they?
My oldest is 13 and my youngest is 11. He's going to be 12 in December.
2 boys?
2 boys.
I have a boy at our house. He's here all the time. He lives here. He's 15. And so I totally get what you're saying. Like I love him. And even at 15, you would think he'd be able to be self-sufficient, but there's moments with him where I'm like, why do I have to keep teaching you stuff? Why? I already teach you this? Like, don't you know this yet? You haven't, so you're not mastering this yet. Okay. Got it. All right. We'll go over it again.
Never a moment.
He's my stepson and he is just like 13 was a cute age with him because he was starting to, like get a little like swagger to him.
My oldest is changing.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, baby voice is voice, and it's like,
oh my gosh,
I know this little man voice.
But the smell is coming, and if it's not already arrived,
it already came.
My stepson was
He'd be so embarrassed.
He was with, I know. I don't think my stepson's watching this. I think I don't think I'm Step Monster loves you. Yeah, he went to his mom's for the weekend, be with his mom and his stepdad. And I told my husband, I said, listen, my friend gave me a tip. I went and bought an air freshener and I hid it in his bedroom. And he has not noticed that it smells delicious and like raspberries in there now.
Just
like how does he not notice? Like, I made your life better because before it was like balls and socks. So I don't know. Anyway, yes, bills and children. Those are the two adult. Yeah, Matt is pointing out that all the kids could watch this on repeat. So let's, for 60 seconds, Jami, let's talk about how much we love our children over each other. Ready? And go, I love you so much. You're so good. You're a good boy. You good boy. I couldn't even get 60 seconds.
I know. My guys, they're so great. They know. They do impressions of me all the time. Like,
do they really?
Losing my mind and
adorable.
My go-to lines. I'm always like, I'm out of I'm not a contestant for Mother of the Year already. Like on January 2nd, like that.
Yeah. My kid, are your kids doing remote learning or are they going in or both? Hybrid?
They're all remote. They were supposed to go back and phase back in next week. And then that's not happening. They're supposed to tentatively go back in November. So
yeah,
I'm really good about the online stuff.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, I'm impressed. I don't know if I would have been able to talk about being able to pivot, right? Like, he is doing a hybrid. So 1 week he's home and the next week he goes in. Mm-hmm. And he's keeping track of the schedule. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
My guys too. I'm like, what day is it?
I like that you're whispering. My guys too.
I have no idea.
I don't want him to know this, but they're really nailing it. Yeah, I don't know. I asked him, so his dad, my husband, will go to work tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And he does a couple days a week at home. And we were all standing in the kitchen and I go, so what time do you have to be on tomorrow for school? And he goes, well, I got my work done and it's cohort B with the A and the red. And so like 1. And I was like, 1? Like, what do you work part-time at Starbucks? Like, you go in at 1? What is this? Like, I don't know.
Huh. Now, like, my guys have to be there at 7:40 in the morning, and they're online all day, just like regular classes. I used to teach. I can't imagine the amount of cases of wine I would have needed.
I know. Bless the teachers, right? Mm-mm. Oh, Jess Miller, very talented comedian and actress. He's keeping track of his schedule, which is why he doesn't know his room smells like raspberries. Jess, that is a really good point. He's very busy. He is like asses and elbows. He's getting shit done. He's a hustler. Oh, Jami, you're lovely. When we did meet, it was on a Zoom and we talked for like an hour because you're that lovely. And I feel like I'm so glad that Matt brought you in as my surprise guest tonight.
Such a doll. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy. And I'm so happy to do, Matt and I are going to teach our workshop on November 4th. Yes.
I can't wait. Everybody, the feedback that the improv workshops have gotten is just stellar. Amazing. Everybody loves them so much. They're so fun. I crack up the entire time watching you guys.
Awesome. Matt, can you throw that website up one more time? If you want more information on the Actors Playbook, you can definitely visit actorsplaybook.com or just email Jami at jami@actorsplaybook.com. Jami, thank you so much for coming in, and I hope to talk to you soon. Mwah! Be safe and healthy.
Okay, you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, she's so darling. This is so fun because I meet people and then we make connections. I've been in Boston for a long time, the Boston area. So I keep meeting people that my paths have crossed with them or I know who they are. So it's the surprise guest segment. The nice to meet you segment is very fun. We're coming to the end of the Jess Miller Jess Miller is hilarious and a wonderful friend of mine, comedy friend of mine. She just wrote asses and elbows, balls and socks. This is great. Yeah, Jess, that's my next comedy album. It's going to be called Asses and Elbows, Balls and Socks. We're coming to the point in the show where we're getting to the segment called Try Harder. Try Harder. I had a couple options for this week. I usually like to show a video clip and I chose this one specifically. It was like a last minute decision. I moved some of them around. because this is a video that I just discovered yesterday or this morning. The days are blending. And this video is a hiker who is being stalked by a cougar on his hike. And it, to me, sums up exactly, if 2020 was a big cat, and I learned that phrase, big cat, when I watched Tiger King. If 2020 was a big cat, it would be this cougar. Matt, let's watch.
I'm very nervous about watching
And Matt
this. I
hasn't
just want
seen
you to
it
know.
yet. So there he is. This guy's out for a hike, and he notices this.
It's a cougar.
It's a cougar. Yep, that's the right response. And then he runs up on him.
You.
Is he just saying F you to that
Yeah,
cougar?
he's going, fuck you, fuck you. I don't blame him.
Well, he was walking towards it.
Well, I think he was trying to see like what he was dealing with. Yeah. But he also, yeah.
Oh, that cougar's close.
He also knows.
Oh,
So listen.
oh God.
Look at it.
No.
Look at him.
Oh.
Away.
Get the fuck away.
Get the away. Holy.
So
This is only this is a minute into a 6-minute ordeal.
Matt, we have the exact same brain because I was just gonna say this is a 6-minute.
Go away.
The longest 6 minutes, right? We think we've been dealing with 2020 for a long time. This is what it would feel like.
It's this time you wish you had just a really big spray bottle of water that you could just get.
Get. So he's going to start saying, I'm big and scary. I'm big and scary. Because that's what you're supposed to do. Listen.
You're good. You're good, little kitty cat. Oh.
Look at him.
What's up, dude?
This asshole. Look at him.
Holy.
But you can't run because the minute you run, you're done.
Ah!
He does this thing though, the cat does, that's terrifying.
Roar!
Yep.
No.
Oh.
No.
Look, nope.
I'm big and scary. I'm big and
Big.
He's
Big.
that's for him, not for the cat. He's
Right.
not telling the cat that. He's telling himself that.
Yeah, the cat doesn't really know.
babies.
Look, he's telling him to go find her babies.
Well, did you see the little one at the start? I think that there was a little one.
Holy.
Oh, which that might be why she's so
Yeah.
interested in him, is that,
Right there, don't they?
I mean, look at her. Watch. She's going to get pissed in a second.
Dude, you're scary.
Dude.
You're a scary kitty cat.
Oh, it's getting so close.
Oh, its mouth keeps opening too, so I don't know what its mouth is doing. It's like, "Mwah, mwah."
Oh, Jesus.
Right? I mean, look at that.
You, dude. Holy.
Fuck you, dude. Is that not, I mean, listen, this is why I don't go hiking. For one of the many reasons.
This is one of 12 reasons I don't go hiking.
I don't want to go hike. I don't want to find an animal this big. Like, we were hearing coyotes the other night,
Okay.
and I was kind of like, that's scary, but I'm inside.
Oh, God. And he's still only 3 minutes through. Now,
Yeah.
this is the kind of thing, it's like, he makes it because this is his video. We wouldn't be watching this video if he didn't get out of this.
Listen, I don't want to tell you how it ends, but it's pretty gore. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? I mean, you can fast forward a little bit if you want. It goes on like this for a while, and then he finally, like, he seems like he gets him to kind of be less interested a couple times, right? Which is, this reminds me of the video of the reporter on the White House lawn with the raccoon. Did you see that?
No.
He's like, yeah, get. Everybody turns into Yosemite Sam when there's an animal around. Get.
But then
Get.
Do you remember the girl singing to the horse?
Yes.
Dude.
This is a Faces of Death video. Yeah, kind of, Jess.
Dude.
Look at him.
What do you do?
I know. I'm putting you through it. We have a little while. I mean, we can stop it at any time.
This is yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure everybody wants to know how it's going to. I mean,
This sucks.
this sucks.
sucks.
This is the scariest
dude.
6.5 minutes of this guy's life. This poor guy.
This is not
Oh.
fun.
This is not funny. You're right. I get what he's doing though, because when I see a big spider or anything, I'm like, Gah! I just make a noise because I'm scared, right? There was a skunk. I came home the other night late.
Come on, dude.
Come on, dude. And there was a skunk in our yard, like near the front door. And I was like, I can't get out of the car. I don't want to get sprayed at midnight. So I did the same thing. I kind of got out and was like, "Bah! Yeah, get.
Oh, just the fact that he's maintained that pace.
You're not getting
Yes.
this, dude.
Also, the fact that this guy has remained like poised and not freaked out yet, because your body would be telling you to run, right?
I'm surprised that he's.
Yeah, get the away.
Oh,
Face.
he gave up and he ran off.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Now I just want to real quick.
Okay,
So
here he is.
What's happened?
Yeah, no, we see that
Wow.
because you see there at the very beginning, you see that little thing in the road there.
Okay.
Like you'll see a,
Oh,
or maybe not. I don't know.
wait. Yeah. Look, I had to do this. This is how I can say. I know it was long, folks, but I'm glad you stuck with it. I mean, honestly, when I saw that video, I was drinking my coffee and I was like, this is exactly how this year has been. Like, there's just something there threatening you all the time. And like, it's like, hey, hey, hey. But then it like takes its time and goes back. And you're supposed to just be like, fuck you, dude. And like, just back away. Like, we're all going to be okay. I mean, this guy just stood up to a cougar. I want to write him a letter. I don't even know who he is. He's on TikTok. The kids are into it. But that's it. That's our show tonight, guys. Yeah. Jan Connolly just said, I'm exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go to bed now.
I know. I'm so sorry. That's we have this was a great show. I had a great time with our guests. Thank you so much, Jami, for coming on, Jami Tennille from the Actors Playbook. And also thank you so much, Josh Gondelman, for joining us. And check out Josh's podcast anywhere you find your podcasts, iTunes, etc. Matt, you're lovely and a wonderful producer. And the more I can bring you on, the more I want to. And we'll be back next week for Genuine Nonsense with our guest, Aaron Jackson, the very funny, the very talented Aaron Jackson. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.